Hello, greetings. I'm appreciative to all of those of you who actually have kept me informed, because news everywhere is trash. And American news went from bad even 20, 30 years ago to horrific. And now it's the most unreliable. You'd actually get more accurate news from the Cartoon Network than you would from any news organization in the United States. Inaccurate, hyperbole, just pure garbage. There is so much that's going down, and I have proof that I anticipated this last year in the videos that I made saying that this stuff would go down. Also, to all the stuff which is, fascinating, no one's talking about this, all the stuff that all these talking heads said, oh, it's never going to happen, never. It's happening, and it's going full bore. It's going flat out like a rocket train. It's just going flat out. People said it was never going to happen. I knew they were liars. Specifically, what they were fools. There's a difference between a liar and a fool. Someone is trying to complicate things and obfuscate. Great word, obfuscate. They're just fools generally. So a lot of Australians are incredibly ticked off. They sent me a live. I watched live streams. Can't believe I watched an hour of it. I kind of watched it out of the corner of my eye. None of that stuff has made the news here in the United States. And once again, that's not important though. But there have been enormous marches in Australia. I'm going to get to the important stuff here very, very quickly. Huge protests and marches in France. I don't know how widespread it is in France. I know that Omicron had to walk back some stuff. But apparently the key feature of having the magic juice passport is still going ahead. Absolutely incredible. Oh, there's something new here, and if you want the link, just ask me for it. I'll post it to you. And I'm reading here exactly what it says. I validated this on other sources. I'm going to read it word for word. People in France who enter a bar or restaurant without the magic juice pass face 6 months in jail, while business owners who fail to check their magic juice, and I'm not, obviously I substituted magic juice with what it says here, but I'm still reading it, as it is. So obviously it doesn't say magic juice. You know what it says. Check their magic juice status, face 1 year in a prison sentence, and a 45,000 euro fine. Are you kidding me? This is the land of liberté, égalité, and I forget what the other one is. I've heard so many French people tell me, all these decades, oh, it's vive la France, land of liberté, égalité. And listen, I've thrown, don't think I'm picking on France, because I'm not. I mean, 99% of the time I'm picking on my own country, so don't single me out for, saying that, because I'll pick on any of them, including the one that I'm in right now. So I'm not going to comment on that, because I don't want this video to be an expression of, I bet you could read my mind though. Why should I, express anything one way or the other about this in this video? I don't ever tell anybody what to do with their life, how to live it, I don't. And I'm not interested in expressing myself on one side of this or the other, but I bet you could read my mind. So I'm not going to do that. What do you feel about that? It's like, who cares? Some people might, but I mean, it's not important to do that. Just want to talk about what's going on, because that's what people really want to know. Because there's enough talking, jabbering fools out there telling you what they think and feel. It's like, let's just get to the facts, okay? A couple people from Indonesia sent me this, and it was a really complicated chart. It has a flow chart of, what if this, then that. So if you're a native Indonesian citizen, I don't know when this goes into effect, but from Indonesia, if you're returning back to the country after being gone for a while, or, whatever, if you're coming back to the country, you have to get the magic juice to get back into your own country. And from what I could tell from this, I'm not certain on this, if you're like a visitor too, a tourist, you have to, but I'm not certain on that. But, you know, if you're, wow. Well, I said wow, that's all I'm going to say. You know, that's kind of interesting. So that's news. The marches in France and Australia have been absolutely huge. I've watched tons and tons of video. I am seeing actual food shortages out of England, contrary to what a few people in England have told me. And I researched this quite heavily, believe it or not. And it turns out, and this is no shocker to me, because when I lived in communist Russia, and I would listen to the BBC, because it was one of the few English broadcasts that would make its way into Mother Russia. Back in 1991, late 80s, when I was in Russia, I was like, man, this is some hardcore propaganda nonsense. So British propaganda is not shocking to me. But I found all these British websites were just flat out lying, saying, well, there's food shortages. They say, well, it's because of Brexit, and that's just not true at all. What it turns out to be is the English are calling it the ping-demic, as in ping your phone. What it is that your phone is tracking your every move, essentially, apparently. And if your phone says you've been like within farting distance of someone else who is, you know, got the cooties, then your phone tells you need to go home and isolate yourself. And so all these people that should be like driving trucks and stocking the grocery stores, their phone has told them, I don't know what the exact wording is, so maybe somebody from England can tell me. Their phone pings, it goes, ping, you've been within like 5 feet of somebody that's got the cooties. It says something like that. So you need to go home and isolate yourself. I laughed. I didn't comment, okay? I just laughed. I'm sorry. So that's what the English are calling this. They're calling it the ping-demic. And many sites, it's not obviously England-wide, UK-wide, but there's a lot of food shortages. I'll tell you flat out right now, I'm in a really good test case, you know, for where I'm at right now. This is the largest city in Kentucky. It's very centrally located to a lot of different stuff, and I'm seeing food shortages here. I am, and it's been getting worse since roughly about 2 months ago, where things were, you know, starting to return to normal supplies. It's going. I am seeing food shortages, not drastic, but I am seeing food shortages and seeing significant food shortages here in Kentucky. August 4th update. Italy is going the same way as France and Greece and Cyprus and Ireland are going. Italy makes the Green Pass mandatory for restaurants, gyms, cinemas, and more. So you have to have the Magic Juice passport to, you know, enjoy your life as an Italian citizen. And that apparently kicks into effect August the 4th. The same thing is going on in Greece. To what effect it is different, I wouldn't want to get into. That's not really necessary. I'm hearing a lot of Australians and Canadians are emailing me, and I'm hearing a lot of, I'll be honest with you, extreme anger out of Australians and Canadians. By the way, if you're an Australian and you've never been to the United States, I'll tell you flat out, 99.999% of Americans love the hell out of Australians. And no American, really, generally speaking, has any clue about the really radically bizarre things that I hear coming out of Australia. And I've seen videos, and I've heard a hearsay, but people sending me emails. And these people have no reason to lie to me, these many Australians, especially when they're reporting the same thing. I'll tell you flat out right now that hyperinflation is moving fast in the United States. It is moving really too fast. I mean, I'm 48 years old. I know there's been some really drastic times in the past, you know, slightly before I was born. You know, the Jimmy Carter mess, and I forget when the last major superinflation was, hyperinflation. I was at a store today, I won't tell you the name of the store, and the guy was pissed and he was cursing, and I was, what's going on? I know the guy slightly. He's changing the prices on everything. He said corporate told him, it's a big chain. I won't tell you the store, but it's a big chain that sells a lot of diverse stuff. It's not a grocery store. Changing the prices on everything, essentially, in the store. It's like, well, the changes don't show up in the computer yet, but I mean, he's literally applying new stickers to everything and changing the little sticker code showing the price. Like on a $100 item, it's going up like $5 or $6 on average. He's telling me. I took a picture of it. He didn't want me to take a picture of him changing the prices. Like, I don't want to be in the picture. Like, okay. But if I have to post a picture of it up, I will. He's got a big pile of stickers there. The price and everything's changing, and it's not going down. Someone was telling me on live stream yesterday that someone predicted that the cost of a a hamburger. Cost of a hamburger is going to go up to 40 or $50. I absolutely don't believe that. Actually, I know it's 100% impossible, because long before a hamburger reaches, and we're not talking about, rich people, like, if a hamburger's $50, they don't care. Long before a hamburger reaches 40 or $50, even before it reaches $30, I will tell you flat out, not my opinion, that hell itself will rip open in not a good way. Long before a hamburger reaches 30 or $40. What is it? Someone can bring me the statistic. It's something like 95% of Americans, if like a $600, like emergency bill hit, something like a $500 or $600, like your car broke down, or some sort of medical thing you had to do, that something like 95% of Americans don't have an emergency $500 or $600 set aside, because they're just tapped out bill-wise. With hyperinflation, increased gas prices, and I can tell you flat out right now, food prices are substantially higher right now, that there's not much more of a limit. This is the reason too. And I am no Chicken Little the sky. I don't know if you know what Chicken Little is. The sky is falling, doom and gloom. I am not one of those people at all, but I can see what's over the horizon, because I have my head on a swivel, and I know that the average Joe doesn't even have $500 or $600 saved up. With increasing gas prices and inflation on everyday goods, including food, that things are reaching critical mass. They are, and I don't think that. I know that. So, I have been watching Land every day now for many years, and I can tell you flat out right now, watching it every day, usually twice a day, that like 99% of every decent piece of land that's like greater than 4 acres, not only have land prices shot up like crazy, even just in the past few months. Every piece of land, I exaggerate you not, like roughly right around 3 acres and above, is vanished. It's just gone. On the land that I look at, it is gone. On a daily basis, I would see, on average, about 10% of stuff that's like 10 to 50 acres, right? Now it's gone from 10% to like 1% every 3 days. Actually, it's less than that. It is less than that. I don't know the exact percentage, but it's literally gone from like 10% every day to about 2 or 3% every few days. Actually, about every 5. Recently, it's been about every 5 days, 2 to 3%. Anyway, you get the point. So, bigger pieces of land has vanished. I am seeing food shortages. Maybe completely different where you're at in the United States, but I'm reporting food shortages here. I'm going to read something directly, and because we're still in the summertime here, the southern hemisphere vis-a-vis New Zealand, Australia, and parts of Europe. This is what's going to come to the United States, and this is a direct quote. According to a senior White House official, multiple agencies are involved in the planning of Magic Juice passports. Of course, Magic Juice is my words. Potentially, Magic Juice credentials could play a role in multiple aspects of daily life. So, multiple White House officials say multiple agencies in the U.S. government are involved in the planning of Magic Juice passports. I'm not interested in making a comment in this video one way or the other. But I don't need a crystal ball in front of me either to tell you if that happens. This is not France and Italy, and this is not Greece and Cyprus, and is not Australia. that, I don't even need to finish that sentence. I don't even need to finish that sentence. I'll let you intuit what it was I was going to finish that sentence with. In my entire life of the faults that I have, one thing I've really been good at is been reading the room, as they call it. You know? It's like, I can see when things are about to pop. I've always been I've actually been extremely good at that. So, if that goes into effect, what the world is doing right now, too, and this is not my opinion, this is a fact. You know, of all these countries named, and the ones that, you know, right now we got Greece and Cyprus and France and Ireland, and UK is working hard at it. Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, there's a lot of different places. The world is trying to set up a medical apartheid. Let me repeat that. The world is working really hard to set up a medical apartheid, and that is not good for anybody. Here in the United States, by the way, that would be a violation of a minimum of two amendments. A minimum violation of that. I have to be a legal scholar to tell you that that's an absolute truth. So yeah, right now a medical apartheid system is being set up in various parts of the world, and it is expanding. No exaggeration, it's expanding at warp speed. I'm not going to make an opinion about that one way or the other, so don't attack me. I haven't made any comment about any of this stuff I've said in this video one way or the other. You know? I don't need to express my opinion in the facts mentioned in this video. I don't need to do it. I will tell you something, as a person that knows several millionaires, and I am definitely not, I'm not even close. Right now I've got $5,600 to my name, cash-wise, $5,600. Not that anybody needs to know that. But starting about a little over a year and a half ago, roughly, I started selling everything that I own that was not glued down, that I don't absolutely need to work, and, you know, I sold it all, and I've stuck it into hard assets. Hard asset diversification, and I won't give financial advice to anybody. I'll tell you what I've done, because I put my money where my mouth is, because I've been watching with people in the know what they are doing, and I have done exactly what they have done, and I'm 1,000% certain I made the right move by putting into hard assets, not gold and silver, which I know a lot of people have, but land. I mean, I sunk every penny I have into land. Every freaking penny. Well, essentially every penny. So, if I can make only one suggestion, and this is always a good idea, because chance favors the prepared mind. It always has, and it always will. If you could take any suggestion out of this video, and I'm not interested in telling anybody what to do, and I still don't, and never have been interested in telling people what to do, because I always pissed me off in life when people told me what to do. It's like, mind your own friggin' business. I lead a simple, clean life. I don't hurt anybody. Mind your own damn business. So, I'm not interested in prying to anybody. But if you could do one thing that there's no downside to, is if it at all possible for yourself and or your immediate loved ones to have like 3 months of food, at the minimum, non-perishable, like beans, rice, spaghetti sauce. Mountain House meals is my #1 pick. That stuff is good for 30 years. I've tried nearly all of them. And no, I don't get any kickbacks from Mountain House. I do not. Stuff literally lasts 30 years. Some of them a lot of them actually extremely tasty. But yeah, like having a minimum of 3 months per person. People talk about hoarding water, which is not really a good idea, because not only is it bulky and a pain in the butt, water filtration, okay? And when people say, what kind of water filter? It's like, well, is it a large volume water filtration or emergency single use when you're talking about, you know, 50, 60,000 gallons, which is more than enough. It's water filtration. Water is really everywhere, you know? It really is. So people are like, I'm hoarding water. It's like, no, water filtration. like a Hiker Pro, which is now owned by Katadyn. Used to be owned by Pure. The other one is a Katadyn Pocket Filter, which is the filter used by Navy SEALs and Delta Force. Literally used by Navy SEALs and Delta Force. I have a couple of those myself. They're not cheap. And made in the Schweiz, made in Switzerland. So water filtration. So you can take any suggestion out of this. And that's not Chicken Little, you know, the sky is falling, doom and gloom. Oh no! That's a valid suggestion even 10 years ago. It really is a very important suggestion. But now, more than ever, it really is. Powdered milk, powdered eggs, dehydrated meals, beans, water filtration, and always make a plan. You and or your family should always have a plan. There is a reason, and you know what they say? You should listen to people when they put their money where their mouth is. There is a reason. As someone who's been watching land every day now for many, many years, and brother, I'll tell you what, that's me. Any decent-sized piece of land has literally vanished. It's gone. I mean, one will pop up every, 5-6 days or something where it's like 5 acres plus, right? But any decent-sized piece has vanished. You know that thing that no scientist has ever figured out? Like, farmers know this. Even before, back in the day before you had NOAA weather radar and you had all this other stuff, like Jim Bob down the holler 30 miles away. There's a storm coming! The farmers would notice their animals getting skittish and acting freaky. And the farmers, that had a half a brain, they're like, oh man, there's some bad weather coming. Well, the people with a lot of money that have literally sunk every penny they have into hard assets due to hyperinflation and, the incredible uncertainty and chaos that's going on in the world. They've sunk it all, not all of it, but a substantial bit of it into, most of it actually, into land and gold and silver, mostly land. Should tell you something. Kind of like those animals the farmer sees acting crazy. And the farmer goes, oh man, there's a storm coming, Ethel. It's like, how do you know? It's nice and sunny out right now. Well, the animals are acting crazy. In this case, the animals are all the people that have bought up every decent-sized piece of land. If that doesn't tell you something, nothing will. People have moved their money out of money, which sounds kind of weird. You moved your money out of money? It's like, money's no good anymore. I was like, what? When people move their money out of money... This is not financial advice. It's kind of funny. When people move their money out of money, that is always a really strong, what we call, barometer of what is very imminent. I don't want it to become a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it's kind of like, and I don't follow sports at all, but Las Vegas bets on sports. And the people that want to know who's going to win a game, they don't listen to all the talking heads out there. They listen at the odds that Las Vegas puts on what team's going to win, because those people actually put real money. And these people, they do their homework before they put real money on a team to win. They have inside info or they have a lot of detailed info. It's the same sort of thing. So, anyway, I read every comment, and tell me what you think. And what's going on in your part of the world. I am an information sponge. I'm kind of like SpongeBob, he soaks up water. I always find that weird that SpongeBob would soak up water even though he was already underwater. That never made any sense. There's nothing in this video to laugh at. The only reason why I'm laughing is because I got a good night's sleep last night. You hear the dog barking in the background. Darn dog. Thanks for watching.